Brands on Brands.
Hey everyone, this week we're talking about keyword research for consultants and coaches. That's right, keyword research for your brand if you're a consultant or a coach. Check it out.
In a world where content is king and your reputation is your brand, how do you build a brand that matters? Welcome to Brands on Brands, a home for those that think different and push their boundaries. This is where branding that matters lives. Now, here is your host, Brandon Birkmeyer.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Brands on Brands. I'm Brandon Birkmeyer, your personal branding coach, and I believe that building a brand that matters is the only way for a business to thrive tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in this week. We have another great episode for you, and we're really speaking to those coaches and consultants out there this week that are looking to build their brand, and this is the beginning of that journey. But if you are new to the show, I want to make sure you guys get a chance to download some of our resources to follow the show, and all that's available at brandsonbrands.com/resources if you want to download some of our freebies and to get on our email list. So check that out and you get a chance. And without further ado, we'll jump into the show.
Brands on Brands.
Let's get going. So how do you build your brand for your coaching business and for your consulting business? And the first place that we're going to start is talking about keywords. Keywords are critical, especially for new coaches and consultants out there. Keywords are critical for identifying your niche in the market, for identifying what you want to do to own your space and be found as a coach in your market. Why are keywords so important? Well, keywords are how people find you in terms of your identity and being found in search and being found in your content. Keywords are at the heart of all that. Well, why is that? Well, when you're creating content marketing, and that could be your podcast, your blog, it could be posts on social media, it could be white papers that you're writing or articles, it could be stages that you choose to speak on, it can be you guesting on other people's shows. All of that is connected to keywords in some way. And the reason that is every time you do one of those things, whether it's create content or be a guest or whatever, you're doing it within a category of content. People are trying to figure out and learn something within some specific category. You know, it's not some kind of variety show you're going on or that you're creating. People are looking for a specific answer, and you are there to provide an answer. And that answer is usually related to some kind of general category or field of information. And keywords are at the heart of all of that. Now, if you haven't already figured out what your keywords are, today we're going to help you with that, because finding the wrong keywords or using the wrong words can actually really affect your findability as a personal brand. For example, if you are a fitness coach and you are specifically dialed into one type of fitness, let's say you are all about cardio, and people type in the word cardio when looking for fitness exercises, and you don't use that word, you may not be found. Right? Or if you are a running coach and you don't use the right word for running in your keywords, you may not be found. Now, the trick is to figure out what are the words within that category, for example, running, that people search for most often. And when you do that research, you'll find things like maybe it's running, maybe it's runner, and they're different keywords, right? Or maybe it's words like marathon, or it's words like running around my neighborhood, whatever those might be. As you start to make a list and brainstorm what you think people would actually type into search, you can validate those using search engine tools and keyword research tools to figure out how many people are actually typing in those things. And maybe you have to change the words to figure out and adjust to what the right words would be for that search. So maybe it's not, just running, maybe morning run is something that people type in all the time. And you now need to create content around morning runs, or make sure that you build that into your strategy. Now, these are just examples. But the point I'm trying to make is you'll usually have some type of primary keyword, and then you'll have breakoffs of that have additional words with them. And that all leads people back to understanding that you fit within a certain category of expertise. Now, the reason that's important is when it informs everything that you do from here on out. It informs how you use language on your website. It informs the words you use in your ad copy. It informs the words you use in the titles of the speeches you create. It informs the words you use in the titles of the articles you write and of the podcasts you record. All of it is related. And when you do it the right way and you use those words that are actually being searched for, and you put that content out there, now the two things start to come together. The content you've created for the right keyword is now being searched for online, and you're being served up to those people searching for that specific keyword because you use the right words in your descriptions and in your titles. All that's connected. Now, there's two types. We'll get into this, right? There's two types of keywords, and there's what we'll call unbranded keywords, and there are branded keywords. Unbranded is what we're talking about, and this is where you have to start. It is keywords that sound generic. It is the keywords that everybody uses. And the reason they're important is because people, when they are searching for you, when your potential customer is searching for information, they use generic words. So you have to work with that. You have to find a way in to being relevant with the behavior that people are actually using. That, this is a journey that customers are actually on. They're actually typing in some basic things into their keyword search. And maybe when they don't find what they're looking for, they might go a little deeper and type in something else. It's your job to figure that out and to show up where they're actually looking for you. That's unbranded, right? It's hard to brand the word fitness because fitness is everything. However, you still need to show up in that fitness category or in that running category or whatever you want to call it. And that's not something you're ever going to be able to own, but it is something you could hopefully be competitive in enough to show up. And within unbranded, there are short tail and long tail. What that means is there are words that are just the main word, like fitness would be a huge main short tail word. In other words, it's a word that you are the one of millions of results. Or you can look for words that are in combination. So it's morning runs daily or something like that. So it's a combination of words that have less competition that you can also try to rank for. So within unbranded, you can, be trying to tackle both, using both words, and you'll have more success, especially when you're smaller and starting out with those combinations of words rather than the biggest word. But they are still unbranded. They are not words you invented. They are not clever takes that you've created to sound interesting and unique. And a good example of this is, in the marketing space, storytelling is a huge topic, right? It is one of the things people often search for to learn how to do, storytelling. And, branded storytelling for your brands, whatever that might be. These are unbranded keywords. Now, someone who wants to be a branding coach might have to work hard to continue to put out articles about storytelling to show up in that search. Now, when you move on from that and you're trying to create a branded keyword, someone like Donald Miller writes a book called Story Brand. And now he gets known for this branded keyword, which is story brand. Prior to that, no one would be typing in the word story brand. It's just not the way people think or talk. So if you want to be found for storytelling, you type in storytelling. Now he can be found for storytelling and for the word story brand when people are specifically searching for this concept that he came up with. Another example is the word youpreneur. One of my mentors, Chris Ducker, invented this word, youpreneur, for a personal branding entrepreneur, someone who the business is of them, and he called it youpreneur. And he wrote the book on that, Rise of the Youpreneur, and he has an event called Youpreneur. And now you can search personal branding or entrepreneur, or you can search for youpreneur, and he will hopefully show up for both of those things, especially for youpreneur, because he branded that. So you can create it, but I would say is don't just start with branded keywords. Don't just make up words and names of shows and hope that people will show up to it because you invented it, right? especially if you're start creating some kind of content, if you're starting a show like a YouTube series or a podcast or a blog, naming it something generic with a little bit of branding is helpful. So for example, if you're a fitness podcast, come up with your adjective, like maybe it's amplify or whatever it is, right? Amplify fitness, but you have to use the word fitness too, right? You have to have both words in there so that you show up. So unbranded and branded keywords are important over time, especially when you're getting started. Those unbranded keywords are important. Now, there are tools to help you with this. You don't have to do this on your own. I mentioned you can do keyword research. One of the most powerful tools out there for keyword research is called SEM Rush. That's Search Engine Marketing Rush. You go to www.semrush.com and all the keyword tools are there. There's tons of them. But what I would recommend you do is get their free keyword research tool. And if you want a link to that, just go to brandsonbrands.com/SEM Rush. That's SEMRUSH, SEM Rush. And you'll be taken right to where you can use their free keyword tracker and also sign up for a free trial if you like. And there's some affiliate with that. Obviously, if you use that, you'll get the discount and I'll make a few cents on the back end as well. You don't have to, you could just go directly to the website, but if you do, check that out, brandsonbrands.com/SEM Rush. But this tool is one of the most powerful keyword tools out there. And you can type in one word and it will tell you, yes, what the traffic is of that keyword, but also what all the other related keywords are that actually rank higher or lower. And it can guide you down the road that says, this is the actual word you should be looking for. And it'll also tell you how competitive it is. Which of these words, maybe there's 10 words that are all super relevant. Maybe 2 of them aren't as competitive as the others. And you can pick those and create some content using those words. Or maybe they're all competitive, but you can at least pick the words that are, slightly more niched down, or the combinations of words that are niched down for your particular audience. And then I'll go a step further and say, you can also say, okay, what can I do if I had to create a title of something? Which of these words would I want to include in it? And maybe it'll give you content ideas. Maybe you haven't yet created content on some of the keywords that are there in the list, and you should add that to your list of content that you're going to create to continue to be relevant in this space. One of the topics you should be covering, right? SEM Rush is a great tool for that. Any of the keyword tools are out there are amazing. Another free one's called Word Tracker. You can check that out, Google that. They got another free one too. Both of these tools, they have an amount of free searches you can use before they try to get you to pay. But I'd say if you're getting started, what I would do is sign up for SEM Rush at brandsonbrands.com/SEM Rush. Get their trial, squeeze in as much research as you can in a month, and then cancel. Because you don't need to do this every week, every month. You need to sit down, get your keyword strategy figured out in 30 days, and then implement it for the next year. And then you can do it again next year. But getting started with the right strategy is going to take you leaps ahead in terms of your approach to getting more visible, to becoming seen, and to being findable on all the important web channels out there that are going to help a coach or a consultant be found. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope that was helpful. Figuring out how you as a coach or consultant can find your keywords that help your brand stand out and differentiate you from all the other coaches out there is going to be important. But using the fundamental philosophies of branding and keyword research is going to help you at least start to be relevant in the general category as well. Hope that was helpful today, guys. And if you guys are a fan of the show, make sure to subscribe and hit that ratings button and leave a 5-star rating and a review if you guys get a chance. Otherwise, just keep on tuning in, and I appreciate you. Also, if you haven't tuned in, this whole season's been about personal branding. Make sure you catch the first episode of this season. I had a 4-part series on personal branding for you that is always there in the podcast player for you to check out. Check out episodes 176 through 179 for my 4 stages of personal branding. And otherwise, I will catch you guys all next time. I appreciate you, and keep on listening.
You've just taken your marketing knowledge to another level with this episode of Brands on Brands. But we have plenty more ways to help you build a brand that matters. Head over to brandsonbrands.com for resources, as well as access to our blogs, videos, and exclusive coaching sessions with your host. Be sure to visit brandsonbrands.com.